If you've never self-tanned before and you're new to self-tanning, then I would definitely listen to these tips. Listen. I said it like it is spelled. Just so I didn't leave anything out, I actually wrote down some tips in my notebook that I wanted to share with you guys. If you're self-tanning to fit in with a societal norm, or if you're self-tanning to look like someone or to impress someone, do not self-tan. But I do like my skin. I do like my white skin as well. I do not self-tan every day. I do not self-tan every week. I only self-tan on special occasions. Only on special occasions does this stuff get to touch my body. Shave and moisturize before you do this. When you are moisturizing, remember to get the dry parts first. So your elbows, your knees, your hands, your wrists, your feet, your ankles, my joints. I always get my joints. I personally shave, but if you're someone who doesn't shave, I would just be careful using this stuff because it will stain your hair on your legs and your arms and everywhere else. Another thing is, whenever you're looking for a self-tanner, make sure on the back of the bottle or the front, and just make sure it doesn't say temporary. Read the description and stuff and it'll let you know what it's for, because some of the stuff is for temporary. Like once you put it on, it dries and it's tan throughout your day, and then you come home and shower and it washes off. So make sure it's something that's staining your body if you want something that's going to last a whole week. Also, use gloves or a mitt. I've used gloves and I've used a mitt. If you don't know what a mitt is, they look like this and they are a little bit fuzzy. I've also used rubber gloves, but I don't use that for foams. I started out with rubber gloves whenever I was using a lotion because I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on a mitt. If you're using a tanning lotion, I would use rubber gloves because it's cheaper, and to me it kind of goes on a little bit smoother. But if you're using a foam, you need the mitt to kind of soak up more of that liquidiness so it can spread a little bit smoother. Also keep in mind that, I'm going to show you this, don't mind the green. It's just because some self-tanners are green because they want to get you away from the orange tint. You see how this one says dark. There's also one that says medium. So I started out with a dark, and I am very, very light. Whenever I used to go self-tanning shopping, I was like, you know what, I want to be dark. I want to be almost black. So I would get the darkest self-tanner, and that's not smart. If you are fair, if you are like white, go for the fair to medium, or you know, the lowest grade of tan, and then work your way up. Because if not, you will make yourself really orange, and that's not a good look. So go for the lowest if you are like white. And if you're like a medium skin tone and you just want to look a little bit darker, I would go with the darker one. When you are self-tanning, make sure you get your back and your chest before your arms. Because whenever you put something on your arms, you do not want to crease. You don't want to be, you know, doing this and making a spot of self-tanner. You don't want to make a ring around here because whenever you're moving, it's going to move the self-tanner. So make sure you do your chest and your back and then get to your arms. Do your arms last, because honestly, you have to do this so much whenever you're self-tanning and rubbing it on your body. So make sure you do your arms last. Also, this tip is for people who work outside. So I work outside lawn and garden at a hardware store. I work with the flowers, I lift a lot of gravel, I lift a lot of mulch, and I get sweaty. Understand that if you work outside or if you sweat a lot at your job or whatever you do through the day, your self-tan is going to wash off a lot quicker than someone who works inside. So whenever you have this self-tanner on, understand that it always washes off. And it's not going to wash off gently, it's not going to wash off evenly, it's going to wash off in patches. For example, the other day I had my self-tanner on, so I put my high-waisted pants on and I wore them for a couple of days, and after those couple of days of me working outside, I noticed that the bottom part of my stomach was getting white while the top of my stomach was staying tan with the self-tanner. So it was basically rubbing. Just keep in mind that this stuff wears off in patches. It doesn't wear off gently, it doesn't wear off beautifully. It wears off and you look like a Dalmatian. The only way of fixing that is scrubbing that stuff off. And I mean scrubbing that stuff off, because it's tanning your skin. Understand that it is staining your skin. And the last thing I'm going to say is, the thicker you put on the self-tanner, the quicker you're going to get dark. So the thicker, the quicker. Just think about it that way. This one's the one I've been using more recently, and it is the B.Tan. So there is a grid right here. It was the lowest tan that they had. It was called I Want the Darkest Possible. And there's different names for the darker you get, but the lowest dark they had was the second square. They had one that was all the way, but I already learned my lesson, honey. It says that it's a 1 hour tan mousse, so you can keep it on there for an hour if you just want a gradual tan, or you can leave it on there longer for a more intense tan for it to soak in a little bit more to your body. I personally just like to put on a light coat for the first coat, because that way you just get your base tan, and then you'll be able to see where you need to get, and if you didn't get somewhere, you know, you can get that place the next time and just make it a little thicker in spots and kind of even yourself out. It's kind of like art. I kind of take about 3 days to get to where I want to be. So basically I'll end up doing the 2 pumps if I'm wanting to get really dark. If I don't want to get super dark really fast, you know, when you're first starting out, then I do 1 pump on the front, 1 pump on the back. But whenever I want to get super dark faster, I'll put 2 pumps on the front of my shin, 2 pumps on the back of my shin, 2 pumps on the front of my thigh, 2 pumps on the back of my thigh, and then I'll do the other leg, you know, the same way, and then I'll do 2 pumps on my stomach, and then 2 pumps on my lower back. I'll do 1 pump on each butt cheek, and then I'll do 2 pumps on the stomach, 2 pumps on the lower back, 2 pumps on the upper back, and then I'll go to my breast and my chest, 2 pumps, and then I'll do my shoulders and my upper arm with 2 pumps, and then the other shoulder and arm, and then I'll do 2 pumps for my forearm as well. I kind of work my way up my body essentially. You'll do your joints such as your wrists, your elbows, your knees, and your ankles with the leftover residue on the mitt. If you put too much on your joints, then they're gonna look super dirty and super orange. I personally do not tan my face. My face gets kind of dry in different spots, so I don't want certain spots to be darker than others. So whenever I self-tan, I basically just wear makeup more so that my skin can match my face. And like I said, I work outside anyways. I don't really care what I look like at work. I only wear makeup whenever I go out. And if I want to match that day, if I want to match my body with my face, I'll just wear makeup. So if you wear makeup every day, good for you. I'm not going to do my whole body in this video because, one, I don't want to get super splotchy because I work outside and I get really sweaty at work. I'll probably do it more in the winter. And it also won't show you the full effect. It won't show you how dark I really get. It'll be kind of hard to show you video to video how dark I get just because the lighting's going to be different. Everything's going to be different. So I'm just going to do a section on my arm and show you how dark I get. And it'll also show you the color variation of my natural skin and the self-tan. I just thought that that method would be more effective. I'm going barefaced today because I'm lathering myself with vitamin E. My face really needs it. I've been out in the sun for like a week straight now. All day. But I can't complain because I work with the beautiful flowers and the beautiful bees and butterflies, and it's so therapeutic. I just put a little bit on there. You can already kind of see. It goes on really clear looking, but it darkens up a little bit as it dries. I'll probably come back in about 2 to 3 hours and show you guys the results. So here's the first coat. I left it on for about 2 hours, and you can kind of see what a very thin coat does. It is definitely darker. It is noticeably darker, more so in person than on the camera. Here it doesn't look awesome, but you could imagine what it looks like over your whole body. So that's the first coat, and I'm going to put on another just to show you how different it gets. You can see how thick I put it on this time, and so we should see better results. Sorry, I've been running around, but this is what the second coat looks like. So this is the second time of putting one coat on. For me, as a very pale person, very successful, but I'm gonna put one more on just because usually I put 3 coats on anyways, and this is very light coats, so I put one more coat on there. So let's just see how the third coat will look because that's kind of where I stop is 3 coats. So let's see how much darker I will get. Sorry for the sudden change. The sun ended up going down yesterday and I couldn't really film exactly what the tan looked like on my arm, but this is what it looks like. It got a lot darker. I mean, a lot darker. That would look really good on a whole body. Like here it just looks like meh, but it would look really good on my whole body. I would probably do one more coat after that, but honestly that's so dark. I think that you guys get the gist. It gets darker every single time you put another layer on. Now I get to walk around with a tan right there. Well, I hope you guys liked this video and I hope I helped someone with the tips. Make sure to leave a comment down below if you have any other questions or comments or concerns. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Bye guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video.